Yo, follow mbe kacha kumas la ning Banjul South la MP la amendment bilul la. Min nata iko ila reading to in the National Assembly la first or second reading ning a private member bill bina to amend the constitution according to the constitution and in National Assembly la standing order. Wolom bilu la purpose and in bilu abe mun lafar le kela ikana falendiro minke ya accompany with an explanatory note la ka explain why. From what I understand, ikonyim bilo natale puruka musoli empower puru musoli ifanay place to National Assembly to bilo la inten mu walti wolom bilo ya da wole kamma ya da min kamma iko puru ka musoli sembentu yandi walatina ya propose for musutan ning woro ye sirango di la permanent sirango di la National Assembly to president okay nominate anyong demokrasi nango anyong demokrasi albahyum ya anene mon soto dunia la history kono constitutional democracy multi-party system katama dami mafo in a dictatorial states dictatorial state everything is possible but former president jammena la totalitarian ya anala dictatorship ya anenema suggest ka 15 MP or 16 MP handpick aye nominate based on anything. It could be gender, it could be race, it could be tribe, it could be region, it could be walk of life. Ko Banjul South la MP minta ate women le ta ate musul le ta. Dictator safu nuko. Okay, Kombonkol are underrepresented. Sain Kombombe mo tani lule la fala ila mo mwani nanu ka. And it's justifiable. But dictator nene mo okay. But nkanyini min kumandi so-called karanal nga fule nunko former president Jammeh man jawya mini ya soran wole jawyata. Nko president Barrow man jawya mul mini ya enable wole jawyata ye nyimmi suggest ni agente man pare diamula ji because it will take a madman nyamato to pass a bill like this few months before general election. In a democracy, ning democracy be practice la at its best. You want to amend a constitution. Nimu mo fahamu remoti. What you do is, because you are representing your people, and your people is about to choose who is going to represent them. Make this a suggestion to the electorate and put it in your manifesto. And you see whether the people would choose that or not. Hakilima momi democracy long afahamta londo suro. Democracy ka practice bankul minikang. Nibe lua amendla. Eka a pus karte fayola kang patil ya suggest. Patil min lafta lua nye suggest. Then ye chance the electorate will lekata molming represent. Isalon ko niye karte fay Banjul South. Abe president no enable with 15 hand-picked MPs. So ala opponent no minimal latela, minimal la Banjul South la suggestion la. Banjul dingol be right to la ka karte fay we kaitandi Banjul South la MP la ko yemin suggest mal la fala. Democracy katama tentini. Bari they are attempting to plan dictatorship mi alonko nga for 3 years ago abe ngulumakang nyim Banjul South and in the executive and in whoever is behind this bill ilafta wala constitute la Gambia kono ndengamira man nit ka diamu nyinna because abe kala nyamat yalti pour ka muruta ki fo ngo kundala nyina na ma believe ka diamala mba fulale ika musuli empower nyami politically ika musuli empower nyami. I would say that. Yo, so bro nka audio siada meka jada na jam fo wati koten sinalu na functional and ill functional political party kono. So bar butum bi audio siada meka jada na jam fo wati koten nendunta min kasida yako bo ndi nyem mawle kuoku kama fokana hakile ndumuta nga min lata min nako na banko nsa kenole ake functional state ti Gambia dingol deserve much better than their min kono bi kulbe kirin Gambia bi mini alon ko wol bika kenun jam yetratama kan complete stranger mol mi alon ko milon bi milon soma ye jere kina you know abala fawarta. So you know this is what I believe. Intelatal ko Gambia de nsake nula ke a functional state ti ko England be nyaming ko America be nyaming ko Europe banku jamal be nyaming. You cannot make Gambia economic superpower. That's impossible. But you can make Gambia a functional state like Norway. Norway have a population little over maybe 6 million people. You know, but it's a functional state. Denmark, Iceland, they have less than 1 million people, but it's a functional state. Iceland, their population is less than 500,000 people. Until we said we are 2 million people. Iceland is just less than 500,000 people, but they are a functional state. And they are no more resource rich than we are. It's just that they discover their resources and they exploit, very well. So until for now, we can. We have the Atlantic Ocean here. We have the River Gambia. We have the human resources. So we can also use those resources and the human resources that we have to build a functional state. I believe in that 100%. So wol kambula diamola manke kudoti. So nindu tamin kasida yako boni nyentolom aliu jamme. Gambia kuolom. Don't get me wrong. Mafo karana manyana terla National Assembly. Ngomboda mood sabal la kumufula jam mood sabal master's degree holder. Karana man tambal. But it's not the virtue of his master's degree. It's the virtue of how he expressed himself, how he articulates himself, how trustworthy he is, how loyal he is to the party. That is why I mention him. I didn't mention him because he's a master's degree holder. No. To be an MP has nothing to do. He's an economist, once budget director, once secretary general. So he's a landed person. It's not about that. is about his political stand. Barack Obama is a landed person too. So it's not that if you are landed, you cannot be a politician. No, that's extra. If you are a politician because of your stance, your belief, your love for nation, and then happen to be educated, that's a plus. So Momodou Sabally have a plus. But the most important thing about him is not that master's degree, no. It's the trustworthiness. Can we trust you? Can we trust you? How loyal are you? You understand? So, we are not, mantra karamu doyandikan. Karamu kuku malti banku dunia kon londo le kasamba. Yes, but politico umanke karankuti. Politico mu banku kanolti. Kalafi la banko la kalafi ferol ke la pour ke la banko yuruwandi nyato tanin tanko ni suturo isa woke nole mol bijang multimillionaire dollar millionaire man enana man si karamundo tabulo ka so isa ila banko doku nole mafo mbe empil tala minna man si karamundo tablo kan, don't get me wrong. So education is very important. But lafta min fola jang a functional national assembly ko min keta 2017 kata 2022 we have a national assembly that was ill functional. It doesn't have its full functionality. Fonya sort of recently a draft sort of, but for the past 3 years of the of that mandate, there was no drafter in the National Assembly. Womanke a functional National Assembly. A functional National Assembly would be equipped with assembly clerk that is responsible for administration of the National Assemblies. You'll have a drafter that laws that are going to be amended so that akana contradiction unafe constitution okono loi similar loi fula wala loi almini alonko ebenyo contradict la draft la responsibility longoti ka make so nyil loi min kana amend o nyil loi kuto min kana safe ata fentinyala loi kon nyemu nyila responsibility. So to have a full functional National Assembly, anyanta nying component will be sotola assembly manyana sitting kela ni yini be tije, so that we have a full functional National Assembly. Isaje lafta minna a functional political party and a functional state, because Gambia is an ill-functional state. Gambia mantra function kan ko bankol ka function nyami function mandika kaunto wolum ko ya deda min kamma ye ko deda min kamma ko kanda bo ya deda min kamma pour aye selendi njalamo santo wala tengo santo bari ni ye nombol min be kala be katita fo juli kileng wala be kumputa sa ngo kanda bo is ill functional amantra function kan no ya de da min kam mata o kala no Gambia be lorin dalilo min kan ka ke a sovereign nation ti pour ay full functional soto wolom nga functional lopitano soto nga functional karambugo soto nga functional energy soto nga functional water supply soto nga sustainable food supply soto, then you are a functional state. These are the fundament. These are the basic. There is no luxury here. Sustainable food supply is no luxury. Full sufficient energy supply, clean water to drink, functional hospital, functional school system, functional roads network. If you have that, you have a functional state. You have place people can go to work and make ends meet. Ning karo fada yela bungo jo kodito mi metulaji isa baluala no fo anyong kari. If you have that, you have a functional state. If you have at least 70% of all workforce, mol misio be sanji muang katafo sanji taworo. Ning 70%, only 60% from Bedukola. You have a functional state. This is called functional state. State intenta minka, mole tarako nga baluji nga jata kende asuto, nga karang. Ni all denda no, then you have a functional state. So, nimboda MP la duties to. So, MP pour ngalong. En e quand même fofanang alkaranal tombong. Obe mu furo to karandi rolti. Abe man na faso to walatina nga karanal tombon ne kabri independent no fo bila Gambia murunta ko makatambi wo sangol bela. Politics manke karanna tombondi. Politics mu lana moli trustworthy people. Mol mini alonko, they are trustworthy. Mol mini alonko ite bribe lano. Al wol tombo. Mol mini alonko, they are honest people. Al wol tombo. Mol mini alonko, they are loyal to your cause. Al wol tombo. Karanna jama. Karanna kumasi muntole. You have to ask yourself, you know, college diploma lombang, walong karannadi. Min jita 6-4, walong karannadi. For me, a bachelor's degree should walong karannadi, bang. For me, a master's degree should walong karannadi. For me, a PhD should walong karannadi. Jamalong karannadi. Alko nga karannal min tombon, be karanna jamal tombon na. You see, karannal ye responsibility nin duties le soto. Nka mini tombon, kilinta wo duties wol kono ibe minkela. Karanna ka minke, wolom aka information uta, aka process, ake mirala, aka report o safe about that information I mentioned. Wolom karannati. Ni amoy karanna dunia kono. Wolom ye file o dila report o na fe file o dila. Ye file o karan. Ye report safe ye min karan. Karanna ka wolke dunia be kono. Ni ye college diploma soto bang. If you can do that, imu karannalti. Ni bachelor's degree le soto. You can process information and write a report about what you read. Imu karannalti. Ni master's degree le bebulu ikake imu karannalti. Ni nyin degree le bebulu ibika nyinkeno. Well, ye example pass le. Isa ke karannati bari londi tibulu. Karamu nafa minti aka londu ake mako ile londu soto. Karamu ke mako ile yeke londi tioti. So karannal ka minke nka nyini min tombo e man tawo kela. MP kilin na duties tije pour ka report sa fe. No? MP kilin na duties tije pour ka report sa fe. Nung karanna ka report le sa fe. Karanna ka analyzing leke aka information aka knowledge bondi information kono wala aka fact soto from an information. You give someone a report and he would analyze and come to a conclusion. Karanaka waleke. Nka nyini min public official di nyini min la nka nyini min tombon pour yeta represent fo e bita report le kelabang ali nyini nka assign ale mol min belong mini nene keta president oti mini nene keta council oti mini nene keta MP oti fo e nene report le safe la do ko to bang. No, they don't. Woman kila responsibility. They have subcommittee mini alonko ibe National Assembly to ikan public sector, public enterprise or parastatal ikake oversized institution in how they operate. Ni woketa ika committee soto, committee ka chairman soto. What chairman in those committees ila finding nila ila clerkuli mako ila finding beke that chairperson na lafita as a personal notes of it or a personal report ke on that matter. That's the secondary responsibility of our MP. The primary responsibility of our MPs is to legislate, is to pass our national budget. In passing our national budget, they would not write any report. In amending our laws, they would not write any report. Even to draft a bill, they don't have to do it. There is somebody they employed in the National Assembly who is called a drafter. All the responsibility. So, kita karang jamal. No, nga molita mini alonko, ye banko kanu, ye ya kanu, ye la patio kanu, mo tilindingolti, ifahamuta, ika kaitul karanu ika understand, ika information o moi karang, ye information o read, ika understand, ika comprehend. That's all you need. Wole America law, nyimmo sifali. Wole Europe law being conform fa karadaming o musifal. Europe, America la karandali. Wol mantra Congress, mantra Senate. Wol be institutional le kono. University to, hospital to, central bank. Ila karandal be wolle to. Nitata in Europe, the same thing. House of Commons in England. House of Lords in England. Aristocrat will look at the House of Lords too. But House of Commons, ila MP bedami, they are normals. Ordinary people. It's not they are landed people. Brits all landed people are not in the House of Commons. So we have, that is the old school teaching. Honey, what is old school? This new generation, Momod Sabalka generation uminfo, Batalemi Jaswol, President Sonko wol, Julius Malema wol are not looking for landed people. They are looking for idealistic people. Molmini alonko, they have ideas to make their states functional. Yalong Gambia Musoli, ngal dani aliake alanin kilai. Alkana som bulu kosu tole yala koteng. Alkana som bulu kosu tole yala koteng. Ni lafta musoli empower politically. He lafta political means. Political means ta ka musoli empower. If you want to do that, there is a means and ways it can legislate nyaming lawfully, legally. If you want to empower women through political means, ika lua le suggest, lua mi alonko, ko the draft constitution yeming reject. Ntafong lafte yeming reject, and thank God ya reject, because Lual Lebije that I disagree with, but there are other good laws in the draft. But a draft to mean reject. We are spell out huge representation. Now the candidate will londela. Ako 10% of all the candidates should be huge. Ika lua legislate wole nyama legally. Ni lafta musuli empower la pour yetra in the representative house na National Assembly kono. You can amend the law. Ye lua kije lua mi alonko. All the political parties, a candidate will be 10% or 20% should be female. Then you give the electorate the chance to choose. That's what is democracy. You don't have to impose. Near somebody president will have to impose 15 or 16 women to our representative house. That is not democracy. Woman ke democracy. Wake democracy lefa. Democracy in a constitutional democracy, multi-party system is representative democracy. You cannot represent people if they don't choose you or don't elect you. You have to be elected to office. So, ni yitandi, wolom executive will a desperate stand of fear that they might not have a landslide victory like they did in the presidential election. So they work with the so-called whoever is empowering Banjul South to facilitate this move so that, if you give 16 plus the 15 plus the 5, that's 21 already. Before president went for election, MPP, they already have 21, my friend. Gambia non kamira nyadile. Nko executive o President Barrow anim Banjul South le MP ilafta Gambia non le bamboozle la kanene koi kata musul le empower. That's not true. If this bill goes through, they would 100% gave President Barrow 16 people that he would handpick that would be 1,000% loyal to President Barrow Nala Bilul, and they would always vote with the executive and they would not care about Gambian women. Ni lafta musul empower politically, ika lua le safe, lua mi alonkabe politique patil be compel ni be candidate ul tombone musul include ye to certain percent. The other thing to empower our suffering women, our mothers, our aunties, our wives, our sisters, our daughters, our niece, my friend, Gambian women are dying in hundreds or thousands because of lack of adequate medicine, because of malnutrition, because they don't have balanced diet, because food is so expensive in this country. My friend, Banjul South, if you are interested in empowering women, empower them in maternity wards. Empower them in their markets. Empower them in their gardens. Don't empower them into a chambers that is purely political. National Assembly is a political center. is for partisan politics. You cannot handpick women, and you think you are empowering women. You are empowering those 16 women plus the executive. They care less about the suffering of our women. So let's not be fooled by this bogus bill. Ni mo for la time waste to mention it. To mention it for me, I mean, I've been compelled to speak, or else I wouldn't, because I cannot see any sane Gambian, Momi Gambia Kanu, after Gambia under democracy, a bill of this nature pass. I don't think so. You cannot hate Gambia that much. I don't think so. All right. Briefly, duties, responsibilities of our MPs. National Assembly in a constitutional democracy na electoral nga damakid nyame into constituencies in a constitutional democracy, multi-party system. MP la doko manke katila tundul represent ngawle funu be dalilul fula dalilul miyatin nako MP bikata ila tundul represent MP kata ila bankole represent anila party ni malla fi la party represent la malla party represent la isitano as an independent candidate saying ite ikila bankole represent through an independent ticket. Well, you are not depending on no political party. Ticket may CJ. Ni aje mulka politic party ta purkata National Assembly to, because politic party like a miro soto. Ika for me ideology miro minka maraloke politic party like a wosoto. A functional political party nimu politic party ti min jarta ka kumandi a functional political party la ibe mirol soto la banko ka mara nyaming ibe mirol soto la banko ka depasse nyaming ibe miro le sotola mbe dembe fengol lopitanol nin karambol ni silol be tamala nyame o miro ka fule political ideology sai natra ipika party represent ikela tundul represent sa ala fo nyatul be tundul minka mino wala political ideology ti tundul sitale ko ila MP ko okay ni non tolla ideology ti ni tate katan tolla represent. You speak on our behalf. Ibe speak like nying kangol. Yalon tundu mang ideology soto. Tundu ta Gambia kono constituency tije miye manifesto soto. For min tata ning independent ticket wala. But nim min tata ning party ticket la, party la manifesto itata wala karamod. Karte fayola. Party le manifesto soto. Party le ideology soto. Party wale programo soto. So itela taro National Assembly ila party o toyala. Wo manifesto ani wo ideology ite kata wale defend, ikata wale represent. Abukolo ko football teamo. Ye goalkeeper soto, ye defender soto, ye midfield player soto, ye striker soto, ye winger soto, ye reserve soto, ye manager soto, ye coach soto. Politic party betentine. Politic party betentine. Ni party jibe fenta National Assembly to mimu fankun kuti individual bika kukeno because MP vote killing katarela. Ikango diata nyaonya, ikaranta nyaonya, ifereta nyaonya, yelondo soto nyaonya. Vote killing wole bebulu. Isatra National Assembly kono sanji keme iteta kulondi lanu because vote killing bika kulondi. Teamwork wala ka kulondi. You team up to have absolute majority of all the MPs or super majority, 2/3 majority or 3/4. Nyinne ka decision uta in a functional National Assembly. So mo kilin sa okeno no mo kilin ta okelo no wala tinne ika patil bula ye candidate jamal ke pour ye that team up sotono ni la parti danta 10 MP la ndung 20 la ka decision uta wala absolute majority. So ite la parti la 10 ika ko le londi ye parti duta mi ye nani soto ye parti duta mi ye woro soto ali si ali kacha ntol lafta nyinela atol lafta nyinela nyindo lafta nyinela ntol da mala tango takela no atol da mala nani takela no nyinda mala woro takela no barsay al nga team up nga d'accord fenn nin d'accord ka nsita landi National Assembly to nin tol mom wambe mbulo wulindi wole be kela politiko kata tentini nyinom partisan politic multi-party democracy katama tentini woto na MP la duties a manke pour kati la tundo represent amu pour kata ila parti le represent because ye parti min na ticket uta wo parti le miro soto maral nyato wo parti le miro soto lual min nyanta tala banko be kam ibika tundula luwa de da ika banku lual le de da minika tundu lual de da wolmu local government anin na council leti so gamira sai dalilo fotale min seneata lew ko yara fang foloto karandiro womu ron karandirolti ka fuko ikati la tundo le represent womu ron karandirolti ka fuko ikata adiamu la tundo nangole womu ron karandirolti mimu tonya karandiroti mimu futuristic political awareness we team up around a political ideology and a political party, then we'll have people minialonko they are exceptional talented to argue our point. For example, if Mamadou Sabali elected into office into the National Assembly, how can you have a better majority leader than Mamadou Sabali? You cannot have that. You cannot have that because the guy can articulate himself. The guy is educated. He's an idealistic person. And he's a young man who is willing to learn, who is willing to change the dynamic. The other time, ako itola generational, aning ndokil la generational Malema wol, Usman Sonko wol, Batalami Jazz wol, would change Africa. And I believe that. So someone like that, for example, Mafatele Jitake majority leader, that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying something of that nature. Assalamu alaikum. UDP forever 100%. Ngamobe kontong itolni kontong bunyari wala. Ka kontong rofulo na forum wala admit timo ted kamde morosi se jamani nge kontong bake. Na mbari muso na si jata kontong aning jatu jaju ngal kontong bake. Na terma tamba kamara fonang kontong aning bitanki fululi. Bunja konta aning kal jeta kabangal kontong bake. Formula diamulal be kontong kabon koto ke damba kontala kata fo make waliwol Abubakar kontawol ngal be kontong Jenaba Jallo Kumba Danso wol ngal be kontong na konton robe mobe mimbe nyum forumo kono minikana kacal la moy jang minika audio na fe jang minika diamu jang nga mini tofo ma mini tofo na konton robal be ntelom aliou jamme yo famo keta demanding buko coming na nunto sasa nying nga treatment o kuntu junale kabrin kawanarta nga lemna mesongo ni lio mi mun defo la boro ti ngol min tilifla rek kanaro bota then stop ta ka boro jimming yara fan virus o nyimam bang na system o konon da nga treatment o stop so kunu nga treatment o kumas la koten dal so fresh cold mandim bijela ani sa dal ya kanaro bota le barbutu you know fresh cold demanding bijela ni sa dal so wobu dalil dolti diamu manke no bawo nimbe audio ke la woka ke wati jamol ti 1 hour 40 minutes 30 minutes katra diamu kan ni balu mantras hayaring abika sonaya but alhamdulillah murunta back to na normal treatment coming ke pour fresh cold and is be respond kan positively be ala tentula wala so woning haji dol fanang wala tinna famo keta diamo la demanding bari hakilo bi jambe audio be la moy kan kilin kumol betiata la kuta alhamdulillah diam lal man siya bari mol min ka diamo fanang e ka kumal lef be tentula be jayila wala yo bi ko ngana nga kuy bawo bil mu kullati mol ko nga ngan fanangan na miro foje wo dalilo kam bina ben kachala wala demanding na topico bi nga sa fe nyamin ko today's topic the amendment bill by the Banjul South MP, duties and responsibility of MPs, functional political party and functional National Assembly nina doy dindungol na independent forum to ni jing kachal kije especially a functional political party bawo ila party mimu doy dindenga to la ill functional political party la and doing call they don't take that easily o bika die so we had a long debate about that sai ko ngafu minum ill functional political party bound to go doy is ill functional. That means what about UDP? So bimbina nga woku kacha demanding about a functional political party. MP la duties fanang nga fole nun demanding bari mbina mbe muruna kambi bawo Gambia for the longest time there is a political philosophy that we believe ikaranta wo imankara wo ani karanal mini alonko university PhD level master's degree level they all believe ko MP katila tundo le represent National Assembly to because ye karandi wala verbally it may karandala formally in a education system, political education system. It may karandala what ye karandala le coming Gambia politician ul ka diamu nyamin ko doing kul ka diamu nyamin ko ni tayla tundo de katila tundo le represent ko PPP ni tayla tundo de kila tundo le represent APRC ni tayla tundo de kila tundo le represent memu misleading suggestion because that's not true, that's false. Womu false lady. Memu tonyati mbe wo fola le bi hakili malsi lamoy menika afu kwila tundo le represent wala argumento yenante fanana argumento lamoy mbe argumento min fola ko ibikati la tundo represent National Assembly to nga domandem fonu njele bimbinala mba akono fanundila mbe evidento landila pour ka akono fanundi then nko a functional National Assembly. We need to have a full functional National Assembly mawoso to 2017 to 2021 so lafta kachala wala labi